It is your Classic Metal Show right here on the ClassicMetalShow.com. That is Red Rain from their debut EP, and that is called What Is Love For? And kicking off the show tonight, we heard something from our good friend Ron Keel with Rock and Roll Animal. And speaking of rock and roll animals, I want to welcome to the mic a rock and roll animal of our own, my partner and friend Chris Aiken. What's going on, Chris?
What is up, man? How we doing?
We're doing. How you doing?
So fucking pumped up. I can't stand it, man. Ready.
Really? So even though you were up early scrawling away this morning, you're all fired up?
Took a little nap. I got my nap in today. So, I got up at 8 o'clock. I did my routine. I sat here singing songs, Looking Glasses Brandy and shit like that. And just all kinds of energy, dude. All fucking pumped.
Well, good. I'm glad to hear that.
Sober.
And sober after last week's, drink fest.
Dude, I will say to the fans and to you, sorry about that.
Yeah, I read back some of the chat room comments, and it said, man, Chris is totally wasted.
I was fucked. Dude, I was cutting up the show. This is no lie. And I came to that segment that was the Metallica drinking game, or Metallica trivia game, rather.
The Metallica trivia game that John was trying to carry the show with.
Yeah. I have no recollection of that at all.
Yeah.
I mean, none. I bought a bottle of Grey Goose, and boy, were they going down smooth. I was just like, Steph was making them like, I don't know what she was doing. I bought a bottle of Grey Goose, a big bottle, and I bought two, I guess they'd be like 32-ounce bottles of orange juice. And so on Sunday morning, I went in to see if there was any orange juice left because I had, drinker's mouth.
Right.
And I went in hoping that thered be just a little bit of orange juice left because I knew how much I had drank.
Yeah, you had cotton mouth.
Yeah. I go to the fridge. And not only is there one of the 32-ounce bottles left, but there's half of the other one. And so that means she was just putting in eyedroppers worth of orange juice into the drinks. And she was mixing all the drinks. Man, I was hammered.
What was she intentionally trying to poison you?
I have no idea. Probably, knowing Steph, she probably was trying to put me down so her and John could steal the show, but she should know better. I don't just fade away like that. I can make it to the end.
Right.
I was a little bit slow at the end, but I still wasn't slurring. So was good to go.
Right. Well, I could tell because right at the end when John insisted he wanted to keep going and take a phone call or two, and it's over. It's done. It's over. I'm drunk. I need to get out of here. I'm done. I'm tired.
I don't even remember them leaving. Obviously they did, but I was like, we ended the show, and I was like, woo. I went and laid down, and I made a quick phone call and was falling asleep in the phone call. I was fucked up.
Right.
It was like, oh, my God, I got to go to sleep, like, now.
Yeah. Well, hell, it must have been a hell of a Saturday because it took you a couple of days to post the podcast.
Yeah, no, I was late with the podcast. It was, dude, you know what? Now, reality is I did the podcast for years. I cut the podcast up for years. I can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
I sit down in front of it, and this is where you're much better than me. And certainly this week where I didn't remember half the fucking show didn't help. But I can't remember the topics that we talk about because I don't pay that much attention to them.
Right.
They just sort of flow together. And where you remember, I mean, you'll be like, oh yeah, well, right when we said this, that's when we transitioned to that. So you can kind of just go boom, 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 and right where to go. Me, I had to listen to the whole damn show in order to find places to cut the show. It was, it took me forever to cut the podcast this week. So it's back on you, sir.
Well, obviously, you did it for 2 weeks in a row because I was there with you live 2 weeks ago,
Sure.
And then of course I wasn't with you, and you had your cackling co-host with you last week, and so yeah, we're back to normal this week. I saw a couple of nice sentiments from some people out there. Oh, thank God Neeley is back.
Yeah, they don't like John, do they?
Well, I don't know so much of it's that they don't like John. It's just you just get used to your favorite performers or your favorite host or whatever. It's like anything else. If you watch, I don't know, a talk show or listen to things on the radio and they have a guest host, you're usually not interested.
Yeah, you tune right the fuck out.
Like, the thing is, I used to watch Bill O'Reilly, and since he's got Can, I haven't watched any Fox News at all.
What? You're not watching Brit Hume?
No. No, I haven't watched any because, that was pretty much the only show that I watched,
Right.
And that was it. So I haven't even watched that. And, the thing is that if I listen to any talk radio, which is rare, but every now and again I'll catch some talk radio. And if it's a guest hosting for, let's just throw a name out there like Hannity or something, I'm not interested.
Right. Did don't they still have the Factor though? Didn't they just replace him with like another person? Or
I don't know. I haven't I haven't watched the show. I mean, haven't tuned in at all.
Did you subscribe to his podcast? I thought I saw that he was starting his own podcast.
Well, he's had a podcast.
Oh, really? Okay.
Even before he got fired, he's had a podcast.
So have you listened to it or no?
I have not.
Just curious if you were in the no spin zone.
No, haven't paid much attention to a lot of things, be it politics or news or anything really. I've just been, busy with work, and then of course I've traveled the last couple of weekends and haven't really had time to really sit and listen and see what's really happening out there.
You're too busy fighting off the paparazzi with your celebrity ass.
Yeah, I don't know so much about that, but it was. Last week obviously was an anomaly as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
And it was just fun. It was just being in among a crowd that would certainly appreciate, what we do, and some of them that actually do. Right. Because last week, and I'll catch everybody up a little bit with what happened last week, but I will say that M3, as far as the festival is concerned, is very well run and very well organized and very well orchestrated.
Well, that's good.
I've been to, numerous festivals and events and things, and I will say that the people who put on this M3 event, they do it very well.
Did you get to meet any of them or no?
Who, the event people?
Yeah, the organizers.
I couldn't tell you who was who. I mean, I'm sure they might have been in the backstage area, but I wouldn't know who they were.
Right.
But regardless of that, I thought it was a very well done production, for all the bands and everybody included, because how sometimes you'll go to an event and you almost feel as if anything could happen at any moment. It's almost like there's a tension in the air.
Sure.
You feel kind of like, a fight could break out any minute, or there's, maybe tensions among groups of people or something.
Yeah.
I didn't feel that at all. I felt very relaxed in that environment. Everybody was very orderly, very well-mannered. I didn't see anybody, any tempers flare. I didn't see any, indications that people were not getting along in any way.
Right.
And because they had two major stages that they flip-flop back and forth between each act, people had to leave the pavilion area to go to the other stage, and then they had to leave that stage area to go back to the pavilion. Now, you didn't have to do that because they had big screen monitors or big screen in each location, that if you wanted to see what was happening at the other stage, you could watch it on the the big screen.
And could you hear it?
Oh yeah, they had a big sound system over there.
Oh, okay, so it was truly, so if you had like a really good spot on stage A, you could just kind of turn around and watch the screen.
Yeah, you could just stand. Well, as soon as the performing band on that stage ended, they would flip the screen on and show what was going on at the other stage.
Okay.
But you had about a 10-minute gap there to walk over there if you wanted to.
That's pretty cool.
So, and, even in the shuffle, even though, once an act ended in one of the stage areas and everybody moved to the other stage, sure. I didn't see anybody pushing or shoving or trying to, trample anybody or, try to push their way through. You know how some people are just real, they're like pushing their way through and moving people to the side because they're, whatever their reason is.
Because they're bigger.
Didn't see any of that.
Well, that's nice.
Didn't see any of that at all.
Because I hate those kind of shows. Dude, you've been with me a number of times. Doesn't it seem like every time we go to a show, I get mad because somebody acts up like an asshole?
Well, I didn't see any of that. And that's what I'm talking about, because I know you've experienced that as well.
Sure. And I'm ready to fight always because somebody's, just acting like a dick. But you didn't see anybody facing the crowd and doing the...
Not at all. Not in the least. And another thing is that there were plenty of concessions around, so it didn't matter what part of the venue you were in.
Sure.
You were within feet of some kind of a concession.
Sure.
So there wasn't like these gigantic lines at the concession stands because they were spread out all over the place. Right. So if you went to get a drink or, get some water or even get something to eat, you were maybe 3 deep.
Was it police too? Like, were there like a lot of trash cans and stuff to keep all the trash off the fucking ground?
I didn't see trash on the ground. I didn't see people, I didn't see the security, acting out as if I'm security. You better watch your step, fella.
Right. Did they give Eddie Trunk his own trash can in case you gave him a shirt?
I didn't see that, but let me just say to you, if you've never gone to M3 and you've thought about going and you might want to go, I think it would be a pleasant experience for you.
Well, very cool, dude.
The sound was done well on both stages. The organization was done well. The breaks between the bands from one stage to another gave you plenty of opportunity to go to the other stage and see what was going on over there.
Right.
And, overall it was good. It was a hot day. It was like 90 degrees outside and sunny, even though the forecast was calling for, thunderstorms and all kinds of stuff, but that didn't happen. So it turned out really well.
Well, that's cool. I'll tell you what, it looked like, from the pictures that you sent over, and then Serena sent me a bunch of other pictures of you guys hanging out and whatnot. Looked like a fun fucking time, dude. Looked like you guys looked like you had the right access to where you could meet the right people, but it didn't look like you stayed backstage, man. It looked like you spent a good amount of the time out front.
Well, the thing is that, when I got there, or actually, I'll tell this story when we get into this whole deal a little bit later, but, the show started, I got in on Friday night. So the Friday night shows with Kicks and Winger and all that was all over by the time I got there.
Okay.
I got to the hotel about 10:30 or 11 o'clock.
All right.
And so it was all over and said and done by that point. But, the thing started up about noon on Saturday.
Right.
And, rather than hang around the hotel and do nothing, and, I was running around with the guys from Dockin, of course. And,
right.
They were sleeping. Because they had just got in. They got in about 10:30 in the morning on Saturday.
Sure.
So they performed the night before, and then they flew in and, got to the hotel, and that's a whole nother story in itself. But there's no sense in just hanging around the hotel, and, there's no reason to go wandering around backstage, for no apparent reason.
Right.
So, rather than waste the day, we went out to hang out and see the bands perform.
Well, that sounds good.
Yeah. I had all access artist pass and everything if I wanted to run around and stuff. But, the thing is why get in people's way?
Right. And of course you had that access. You're fucking Neeley from the Classic Metal Show.
Yeah,
goddammit.
Sure. But, we went out. I met Steve Jackson. I met Carolina Cookie Burner. Of course, I sent in those photos of our hardcore fan who actually lives in the area, who made his own CMS shirt with the Rat Lives Matter.
That was awesome. And the other guy's shirt was even better. The no Bobby Blotzer.
That's the same guy. That's who I'm talking about.
Same guy?
Yeah, same guy. That's who I'm talking about.
Is that the same shirt?
Yeah, same shirt.
All right, I didn't realize that was the same shirt.
Yeah, if you look across the top, above where it has the no blotzer, it says the Classic Metal Show across there.
Right.
Then on the bottom it says accept no substitutes.
Love that.
And then on the front it says Rat Lives Matter with the devil horns.
Right. That is so good.
Yeah, it was really good. I just happened to see him hanging out there watching the show, and I walked up behind him. He didn't see me coming, and I put my arm around him, and I said, all right, who are you?
Right.
And he turned around, and he looked, he went, holy shit, it's Neeley. So,
should have said, hey, what are you doing wearing my shirt?
Right. So it was fun. I mean, and I met he and his wife, and, I sent over the photos and stuff, and they're hardcore fans, man. He was saying, yeah, dude, we were listening to it in the car all the way down here.
Nice.
He said, we don't miss an episode.
That's great.
So that was fun. And, just hanging out and meeting different people and just taking it all in and enjoying the bands that played. I did get to see Vane, which, that was the first band I got to see. There were several bands that had played before I even got there, but
right.
By the time I got there, Vane had just gone on, and I'd never seen them before. And Davey Vane sounded fantastic.
How about what's his name? Jamie Scott, the guitar player. Because I love his guitar playing. Was he good?
No, did I see him perform?
No, how was he as a performer?
I didn't see him.
No, from Vane.
Oh, the band Vane performed very well.
Okay.
Yeah, they sounded great.
That's cool.
They sounded just like the record. The one that didn't impress me so much was Joey Bong Tongo.
Yeah, he sounded like he had a couple of cigarettes.
Well, yeah, he sounded like he gargled razor blades at some point.
Someone just like
exactly.
you.
That's exactly what he sounded like too. I wasn't real impressed with Bang Tango that much. I mean, I enjoyed the songs, but boy, I tell you, Joey was just like, whew.
So they're rocking out, and Joey's like, soul to soul to soul.
That's really what it sounded like. I mean, they weren't horrible, but it was just like, ooh, boy, his voice has seen better days.
Yeah, like a long time ago.
Mm-hmm. But as far as the low points go, that wasn't a real high point for me. And then Tom Kiefer, there's another one whose voice his voice was cracking a lot.
Tom Kiefer sounded bad.
Yeah, well, he didn't sound bad. It's just his voice. He'd be trying to sing one of those higher range raspy parts, and his voice would like cut out or crack.
Right.
And it's just like, wow, how long can a guy with a vocal style like Tom Kiefer keep going?
Apparently, longer than he should. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it was just a bad day, but everybody was kind of commenting. It's like, wow, Tom, It's like,
because he's usually really, maybe just having a bad day, man.
I mean, it could have been. I mean, he wasn't terrible. I mean, I've seen Tom probably 3 times in the last 3 years, and he always puts on a good show. But boy, he was having a vocal thing going on, at the show. I mean, it wasn't terrible. I mean, it's not that he couldn't sing. It's just that his voice would cut out and crack.
Right. That's just tragic. There,
it's like ouch.
Because he's usually rock steady.
Yeah, it sounded painful. I think that's probably what the deal was. It sounded painful.
Not the way you want your performance to be reviewed. Painful.
Yeah, it sounded painful. It sounded like his voice was he could have been in pain every time his voice didn't quite carry.
Sure.
But performance wise, it sounded great. And who really put on a hell of a show, regardless of his physical condition, is Jack Russell.
Really? He limped out there and brought it.
Oh my God, dude! This guy, as unfortunate as it is, and as much as I like Jack, he walks around with a cane, right?
Right.
But when he's on stage, there's no sign of a cane anywhere, and he's like running back and forth on the stage and just giving it his all, and he sounded great.
It's amazing because his voice still sounds exactly the same as the old days.
Mm-hmm.
But he does look like Keith Richards. Like if Keith Richards had a twin brother that had to take the effects of all Keith Richards' drugs, he would be Jack Russell.
Mm-hmm.
Jack looks terrible.
Yeah, Jack looks boy. That poor guy. I mean, and the thing is he's lost Inches. I have a photo of Jack and I probably in either 1999 or 2000.
Right.
He and I were the exact same height.
Yeah,
now he comes up under my chin.
He's the same height as Serena. I saw the pictures.
I know.
He went from what are you, 5'10", 5'11"?
No, I'm 6 foot even.
Oh, I'm sorry that I missed that inch.
I'm 6 foot even, pal.
Sorry about that. So he ascended to your 6 foot of greatness down to 5, whatever. What is Serena, 5'2"?
Yeah, something like that.
And he did not. I don't think he's taller than her, is he?
Not much.
Yeah, he's maybe 5'4".
Yeah. Well, he's lost about 8 inches at least.
How old do you think?
I know how old he is. He's 50. He's 55.
Does he make it to 60?
Hard to say.
If you were betting.
Well, he didn't look unhealthy, and he didn't. He looked fine, but he was just the ravages of that steroid he was on for umpteen years,
right?
And as well as other things, has just taken its toll.
That steroid known as heroin?
No, that's not it. No, he was on prednisone for years.
Right.
I mean, and the thing is that you're only supposed to be on that for a matter of months.
Right.
Well, he was on it for 10 years, and he took mega doses of it. Whatever a normal dose is, say a pill a day.
Right.
He took 5 or 6 pills a day.
And what was that for?
He had a thing about his voice. He was afraid that his voice was going to give out on him.
Yeah.
And so he took it for his vocals. And he thought it helped his vocals.
Right.
And it just got to the point to where he took, way too many and way too long. And it just basically made his bones brittle.
Jeez.
It just took a toll on his skeletal, frame.
Right. It's tragic because and we've said this before on the show, he's one of the good guys.
Yeah.
He's one of the absolute best guys we know. And it just sucks everything that has happened to that fucking guy.
Mm-hmm. Well, he sounded amazing. I will tell you that. He did sound amazing. He performed very well. Sounded great. And, played in, he played in the pavilion and the whole place was rocking out with him. It sounded great.
That's cool.
And then Warrant played, and I thought they did a great job. Well, the one thing that I thought was kind of stupid is there's people in the audience yelling Janie Lane as if Janie was going to just appear for, like they gave him the boot for Robert Mason. You know what I mean?
Right. Sure.
It's hey, dude, Janie's not with us anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, don't be yelling Janie Lane bring Janie back.
Hologram, man.
Yeah, I guess. But I thought they performed very well. Robert Mason is a great performer. I think everybody knows that from, any other project he's been involved with.
Right.
But he sounded fantastic and very, very nice guy. Another very nice guy that,
sure.
You get to, when you talk to him, he's just, he's just happy to be there.
Yep. He's another, you're right. He's a really good guy.
Yep. And a guy that I had met years ago, probably 10 years ago or so, was what's his name? His last name Sweet, the drummer for Warrant.
Stephen Sweet.
Stephen Sweet. There we go. Stephen Sweet. I hadn't talked to him literally in years. I mean, years. I met him. I think it was 2000 and. I want to say 2005 or 2006 when he first came back to Warrant.
Right.
And, that was a long time ago. I don't think I've seen him or talked to him since. Okay. And he came walking out of the hotel and he walked over and I go, "Hey, Steven, how's it going?" He goes, "Hey, man, good to see you." He goes, "Your hair's different." That's what he said. He goes, "It's been a long time since I saw you." He goes, "How's the show going?" So, it was just kind of weird. I didn't think he'd know who I was, because it'd been literally that long.
Sure.
But,
well, that's cool.
Yeah. So we chit-chatted for a few minutes and, they were getting on the little shuttle bus to go over to the stage,
Right.
And, but everybody was very, very friendly, very, very nice. Like I said, the whole day was very well organized, and people seemed to really be enjoying themselves, and I didn't notice any problems at all, backstage, except for somebody stealing Dawn's hat.
Yeah, how'd that happen?
Well, we were the main building where the pavilion stage is. It was a good, I don't know how many yards, probably 300 yards away from the second stage. They had a second stage set up. They call it the forest stage, and it was, I don't know if it's a permanent structure or not, but remember the back in 2007, I guess it was, on that U2 tour where they had that big monstrosity thing.
Yeah, that big, whatever, that spider looking.
Yeah. Well, they have almost the identical thing.
Okay.
Set up, only it's just on a smaller scale.
Right.
But it's very similar to that setup.
Okay.
And they had this stage set up out. They called it, like I said, they call it the forest stage or whatever, because it was out in the wooded area. And it's a big, it's a big venue size stage that they had set up as the second stage.
Sure.
Well, the main pavilion building is where all the dressing rooms were and stuff. And if you were one of the artists or, performing on the second stage, they had to take you over there by way of a golf cart.
Okay.
They had a asphalt path that went from the main stage out to the second stage, and they drive you back there.
Right.
Well, they were shuttling everybody back, and there was the 4 members of Dokken. Then they had their manager Eric, and then Don had his friend with him, and so they had a 6-seat cart, right? Mm-hmm. And then they had other golf carts that could carry maybe 3, maybe 4 people, so they were shuttling people back and forth. Right. Well, the band and Don's friend and the manager all went first on the little 6-seater. Okay. Well, Don had his hat with him, and had his his glasses and his mic and his in-ears and all that shit with him. And that was the last I saw it. They had gotten in the cart, and I was just waiting for the second cart to come around. And the second cart come down, and I took the little cart up to the stage. And by the time I hit the stage, which there was probably a 8, maybe 10-minute gap there between the time they left and the time I got up there, his hat was missing at that point.
Wow.
So I don't know if he got off the cart and walked up or set it down to say hello to somebody or whatever, because I wasn't there. Right. And as soon as I got off the cart and walked up on stage, he comes running over to me. Where's my hat? Where's my hat? I said, well, you had it with you. And he says, I can't find it. It's gone, So, of course, everybody's like spreading out looking for it, and couldn't find it. So he must have set it down somewhere, and somebody just swiped it that quick.
Some fan was probably wearing it. Now it's on eBay. Probably.
So I thought, well, maybe he accidentally dropped it or fell off the edge of the cart or something, So
it wasn't like a famous hat, though, was it?
Well, it was one that he had gotten. He had bought it in. I think he had bought it in France. Remember a little over a year ago when he was on that little tour with he and his girlfriend were out, going to France and England, and they went to Japan and. All that stuff. He called into the show. Mm-hmm. Well, he had purchased it while he was over there.
Oh, so it wasn't the In My Dreams hat?
No, it wasn't that one, but it's similar to it.
Okay.
And he had bought it while he was over in Europe, and either he'd bought it or he had it made. I don't remember.
Sure.
But it's gone now.
Well, somebody's enjoying it.
Yeah, I guess. But we all looked around, couldn't find it anywhere. In fact, I walked back down the path out back to the other building.
Yeah.
Just to see if perhaps he dropped off the cart or something.
Sure.
Didn't find it. So.
Did you check John Ostronomy's bag?
It was gone before then.
Hey, come here, you.
Yeah.
Open your bag.
Exactly. So of course, once I was up on stage, Don also has that Wolf guitar. It's got the back for the attack wolves on it. It's that special made guitar. Mm-hmm. Well, that's another thing that that, you know, you have to keep an eye on because, you know, you never know who's up there and who's doing what with what.
Right.
And, you know, so as soon as the show was over, I went over and helped Mick take his cymbals off of his drum kit.
Okay.
And then I made sure that the wolf got put back in the case, and, you know, I held on to that.
Nice.
Because you get people, you know, milling around up there, and you don't know who is, and somebody will grab something and take off with it.
Right.
Which obviously they did.
Yep. So I wonder how often does that happen? You've been to a lot of shows.
It happens all the time. If you set something down for just a minute, look out. Don will tell you how many times he's lost his Ray-Bans. You know, like he'll wear his Ray-Bans on stage, like at the beginning of the show, and he'll set it on the drum riser, like halfway through the show. And if he doesn't remember to pick them up as soon as the show is over, and you go, oh shit, where's my glasses? And you go back, they're gone. Just that quick.
Typical.
It doesn't take very long.
Nope.
So, yeah, you know, and you got to watch out for it because same thing with the in-ears, you know, the in-ear monitors. If he takes those out and takes it off and sets it down for just a minute, somebody will swipe that.
Yeah.
So people are just, you know, you can't trust anybody. So you just got to be hyper vigilant all the time. And, you know, especially since everybody wants to say hello or they want to take a picture. Or they, Don, you know, give me a picture. You know, let me, you know, and so he wants to be kind. And so he'll set it, you know, say you'll have something in his hand and he'll set it down. But no sooner do you turn around, it's gone.
That sucks.
Yeah.
And that's why we hate fucking people.
Well, I got to tell you, since we're all on this subject,
sure,
and I'll get this all out of my system here so we can move on. But, you know, the thing is that apparently since this M3 festival is in, I think, it's 50th year or something like that, you know, all the fans who go to the show know where the band stay. I guess they stay pretty much at the same hotel.
Okay.
So when I got there, there were, you know, the autograph seekers all camped out in front of the hotel there with their mounds of records and their mounds of, you know, memorabilia and things that they want to get signed.
Right.
And, you know, as soon as somebody would get off the shuttle or something to go to the hotel, they'd be on them like flies on shit.
Okay.
You know, so Don's friend, she and Serena hung out on Friday night, and then the guys were performing Friday and they were coming in Friday morning, and they were supposed to get in about 10:30, right? So I headed down to the lobby around 10:30 to meet up with them, and apparently when they got in, they had you know, had reservations for early check-in.
Sure.
Because they needed rooms. When they got there, no rooms. It was just like Spinal Tap.
So they what? Sit in the lobby?
Yeah, they had to sit in the lobby. Yeah, they went down. There was a restaurant in the lower, you know, on the lower floor, on the ground floor.
Right.
And so there was like a lobby down there, and then Don went and had something to eat, and Mick was crashed out on a chair, and John was just kind of like trying to hurry up the lady at the desk to see if she could get them checked in, and Chris McCarville was hanging out. And it was like, what's going on? Dude, they have no rooms. They don't have any of the rooms ready. They said that they have to clean them and all this kind of stuff first.
Jesus.
And so they're just sitting there waiting, you know, to get rooms.
I'm sure Don was thrilled.
Well, he wasn't happy about it. You know, so he was in the restaurant area with his friend, and I went in there and sat down and had some coffee with them.
Okay.
And he says, where were you earlier? He says, I get in here and I'm trying to check into the room, and I got these guys literally leaning over me. I'm at the desk, and they're putting shit in my face while I'm trying to check in. You know, and it's just like, guys, I'm trying to check in here. You know, well, could you sign this? Could you sign this? You know, and he says, I wish you were down here earlier. He says, because I couldn't, I'm trying to check in and get everybody situated with their rooms. And these guys are like hounding me and hanging over my shoulder at the desk.
And Don, being the dick that everybody says he is, still signs everything.
Yeah, he did.
Of course he did, because he's not the dick everybody says.
Yeah. So, he's trying to make his way back through there. And, of course, all these autograph hounds are there. And just like the guys we always talk about, they got like 15 CD covers, 17 albums. Get this now. This guy, I don't know who he was, he brought printed sheet music.
Okay.
Printed sheet music of like In My Dreams or, Alone Again or something like that.
Right.
And he wanted Don to sign all of the sheet music. And he's like, he says, this isn't even a product, dude. This is you copied, sheet music. I'm not going to sit here and sign all that, because you're just going to auction that off at eBay or, sell it at some kind of a music convention or something.
Right.
He says it's just sheet music. Because I'm not going to sign all your sheet music.
Don should have taken that for 80s Con or whatever that thing is that he's going to.
Right.
Could have sold it there.
Yeah. So these guys come up there with a whole stack of albums. And he's like, you know what? Listen, I want to be nice about all this. And he's telling these guys, I want to be nice about all this. But you know what? I'm signing 2 things a piece. That's it. He said, he goes, I'm sorry. He says, I don't mean to, be a dick, but I'm signing 2 things a piece.
Right.
That's it. He said 2 autographs and I'm out. So he did. He gave everybody 2 autographs. He said, pick the 2 things you want the most and I'll sign it. And that's it.
Wait a minute, let's replay that again. You be Don and I'll be those guys. Go ahead.
Hey guys, I'm only signing 2 things a piece. You pick the 2 things that you want, and I'll sign it, but that's it.
Oh, man! Jesus! I drove all the way from Baltimore for this.
But I think that's fair.
That's more than fair. That's 1 more than fair. Or really, that's 2 more than fair. Because you're getting them at a non-sanctioned thing. It's no wonder these guys charge $800 for a fucking meet and greet.
Right.
To get harassed like this.
Right.
I mean, the guy's trying to go to bed. Give him a break.
Yeah. So they had the main hotel that was like, I don't know, it was like 12 or 14 floors tall. And then they had these bungalows. Mm-hmm. And, you had to walk down this long sidewalk to these bungalow buildings. And that's where most of the bands were staying.
Sure.
So, of course, I'd walk with him down there because all these guys are literally lining the sidewalks as you're walking by, almost like walking on a red carpet, and the paparazzi is standing. Well, they're all standing there with all their stuff, to
get signed.
To get signed. So while he's walking by, they're all handing, can you sign this? Can you sign this? And he did. But, he said 2 things, fellas, 2 things.
Right.
And I said, well, there's the asshole Don Dock and everybody talks about. I tried to get him to sign something. He was a fucking dick.
Yeah, he only signed 2 and I brought 38.
Yeah. Yeah, pal.
What a dick.
Yeah, seriously. Hail and kill, caller. You're on the air.
Hail and kill, motherfuckers. It's Norge.
Hey, what's up, Norge?
I'm doing great, guys. How you doing?
We're doing. What do we owe the pleasure of your call this evening?
You really want to know?
I do. You made the effort to dial that phone, so what's on your mind?
Oh, what's on my mind? All right. First of all, Neeley, you fuck Selena, whatever her name is, right?
Whatever her name is. Yeah, I fucked whatever her name is. Yeah.
Whatever her name is. Selena, whatever. You banged her or what?
Serena. The great Serena.
All right. Okay. Did you bang her?
Like a screen door in the wind there, Norge. Like a screen door in the wind.
God damn it, Neeley. That's why I fucking love you, man. You're the man. You banged that pussy fucking every fucking way, didn't you?
Absolutely. So are you living vicariously through my experience, or is that something you really wanted to know?
I did.
No, not really. Not really. I just wanted to start a conversation like that in a fucked up way. All right. This is why I'm calling.
All right. Please do get to the point.
All right. This bullshit of fans coming up to people with like 10,000 things to sign. And I'm going to tell you something. That shit bugs the living fuck out of me.
So does that happen to you a lot? A lot of people bring your stuff to you to sign?
No, because when, if I'm in certain situations where people are certain, like people that are very popular, that are around or whatever, and people take advantage.
Yeah, well, absolutely. That's what it boils down to. It's like, dude, I bought all your records. You owe me.
And okay, let me ask you a question. Okay, yeah. All right. Let's put this for an example. Okay, all right. Like you were saying, that guy who went with all this shit with the Don. I bought all your shit. Let me ask you a question. Did Don ever put a gun to any fan's fucking head to say, buy my records, buy this, buy that? No, right?
No.
No. Okay. You took it upon yourself. You love the band, and you, how can I say this? You feel something special towards the band. All right. So that means you got to approach somebody with 10 million things so they can sign it, and you can sell it on eBay.
Right.
Or whatever the fuck you want.
Sure.
I think that's a bunch of fucking horseshit, dude. Honestly.
Well, unfortunately, yeah. Well, unfortunately for some fans, I mean, obviously it's a keepsake, and then for other fans, they're just doing it to profit.
No, I agree, and you know what? That drives me nuts because I would say probably maybe 99% of this time, if somebody's around and I do have something that artist has to do with, maybe I'll ask them to sign it, but I'm not going to ask them to sign 10 million fucking things and make money off of them.
Right.
In all my years of being into metal or whatever, I've never had somebody sign something, dude, and then I'm going to make money off of this shit. I think, honestly, that's a bunch of fucking horse shit. Honestly, if you do shit like that, you're not even a fan to begin with. You're just a money-hungry fucking fuck. Am I right or am I wrong?
You're absolutely right, Norge.
You're being fucking sarcastic, Neeley.
No, I'm being honest with you. I've seen it enough times to know. Believe me.
To me, honestly, it's a bunch of bullshit, and I'll tell you something. I've collected I've collected so much. The shit. I'm sorry, but the shit drives me nuts because I've been collecting shit for the past 2017. I would say maybe like 30-something years as a kid, and I never in my fucking life ever had somebody sign something just for the sake of making money off of it. To me, honestly, straight out the back, you're not even a fucking fan when you come to doing that shit. You're just a money hungry asshole.
Did you hit rewind on the tape, Neeley, or what?
Yeah, you're kind of going in circles there, Norge. You're kind of like repeating yourself now.
It's a bunch of fucking horseshit, dude.
I get it, dude. Well, you made your point. Anything else?
Is it a bunch of horseshit, Norge?
Oh, fucking both of you blow me. I'm sorry. It just drives me nuts, dude. It's just like making money off of somebody. Nah, man, it's fucking horse shit, dude. You know what I mean? If you want to get something, do it for the love of it. You know what I mean? If you're gonna make money up, you're a fucking cock. I hate that
Norge.
shit.
Hey, Norge, have you ever
Chris, what?
Hey, Norge, have you ever had anybody like sign something and then just go and sell it just to go and make some money off of it?
If I ever had somebody sign something to make money off of it?
Yeah, have you ever done that?
I've signed
that's
shit
horse
before
shit,
man. I've signed certain shit with things I've done before, but I'm pretty sure they're not going to make enough money.
No, you're missing my question, dude. Have you ever had like a rock guy sign something, and then you took it and you went out and sold it, just to make a profit off it? Yeah, that's horse shit, right? That's horse shit.
No, that thing's bullshit, dude. At least for me, it's just no, dude. Maybe because I see it in a different way, dude. If I'm gonna have somebody sign something for me, it's because if it's
So let's say that Don
for me,
it's
hold on. It's
right,
for the love of it, not to make fucking money off of it, dude. What kind of bullshit is that?
So let's just say you ran into Mick Jagger, he came in to get a motorcycle painted. And you run into Mick Jagger, and Mick hands you a picture and he signs it. You wouldn't take that to eBay?
No.
Why not?
No.
Would that be horse shit or what?
No, I wouldn't sell it. Why would I? Because honestly, if I did something for him, not that if he did or he didn't, but if he signed something for me, man, it was specifically, hey, here you go for you. Mm-hmm. So then I'm going to go and make money off of it. I'm sorry, Chris. It's honest. I don't know.
I get it, dude.
I don't do that shit, dude.
So if Angus Young signed a guitar, you think it would be horse shit to sell that guitar?
Yeah, dude. Me personally, I'm sorry. No, dude. It depends on the person, Chris. Look, music means the world to me. And I love metal and I love everything. You know what I mean? And it means, I don't mean to sound like a little bitch, but music means a lot to me.
Right.
And, to certain people, maybe it doesn't, whatever, but at least to me, if somebody gives me something and signs it to me personally.
Yeah.
Dude, listen, I'm going to tell you something. Chris, you know exactly where I'm going to come from this. Look, I have a belt here, a championship belt, and I had it signed to me personally by Ric Flair.
Wow.
You think I'm gonna go sell that shit, dude? Fuck no, dude.
Just no, that would be horseshit.
No, dude. No, dude. You know what I mean? It's that shit means the world to me. You know what I mean? It was like it's a special thing and a special moment and a special time. And I'm gonna make money off of that shit. Me personally, Chris. You know what I mean? Whoever wants to do it, whatever. But at least me personally, no, man. That's horseshit, dude. I'm not gonna go sell the belt and then guess what? Oh, guess what? I made $1,000 off this belt off of Ric Flair. That shit ain't right, bro.
Right. I'm with you, man.
I'm being totally honest. I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm not. I'm just being honest.
What if you could get $500 though for a Brooklyn Brawler belt?
Chris, I have a fucking signed guitar here by Motley.
Yeah.
And I've had people offer me money, and I'm like, no, dude. No. Because it just means that much to me. I don't know. It's just me. Maybe I'm being a sentimental faggot now or whatever, but that shit just means to me. It just means a lot to me. It's just I'm not gonna make money off of no fucking buddy off of that. It's like let's say I had a poster signed by Chris and Neeley, and then I can probably get $1,000 for it. Am I really gonna go out and sell it? No,
I hope you share that with us.
I was gonna say, tell me their name. I'll send them one.
No, listen. I'm gonna tell you something. Honestly, the truth, and I'm gonna tell you straight up. You guys know how I am, dude. I will not do it. For the simple fact is because it's a special item that was specially given to me, and then I'm gonna go around and then fucking go sell it. That makes me. I'm sorry, dude. It makes me a fucking asshole.
And that would be horseshit.
So I'm basically making money off of you guys.
I'm with you.
Oh,
man.
Thanks, Chris and Neeley. Thanks for signing this. Guess what? I'm gonna make money off of you fuckers. No, dude. I'm being honest. It's not cool.
Hey, Norge, is that your management? I'm hearing something in my ear.
Oh, Chris, don't start with your bullshit. Don't start with your bullshit, dude. I swear to God, I will go over there and I'll fucking power bomb your ass to a fucking table.
You better be strong.
I know. I got to be juiced up on growth hormone or some shit.
All right, is that it, Norge?
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's recap. Having celebrities sign your collectibles and then turning around and selling it for profit is bullshit, man.
Yeah, it's bullshit, dude.
And you should be killed.
No, I'm not saying you should be. You see, I love how you twist shit around, Neeley. Yeah, that's what I fucking love about you guys. You love to twist shit around, you fuckers.
All right.
No wonder I've been listening to the CMS for over fucking 10 fucking years.
All right. Well, Norge, is that it?
Is there anything else you want, Neeley? You want me to say something racist?
No.
Okay, yes. Guess what? Today, guess what? Today I called 2 people a fucking nigger today. There.
Wow.
Yep.
All right, Norge.
All right, guys. So I vented a little bit, and let me ask you something. Is Rufo still fucking alive, bro?
Have no idea. Haven't heard from him.
Well, then that's a good thing. It's the truth. Fuck him. And I'm pretty sure Tim James right now, he's on his knees sucking dick.
Alrighty then.
All right.
All right. We want to say thank you to our third Mike Norge.
Third Mike Norge. Yeah. The nigger hater. The nigger hater.
All right.
Let me go trim the fucking niggers I have hanging on with the apples on my fucking tree right now.
Jesus.
While I listen to CMS. Oh, Jesus. Oh, we're going to hang some niggers tonight. All right, anyways.
Hail and kill, Norge.
Hail and kill. Fuck you, pal. Hand job. Fuck Dare. Fuck Blotzer. And once again, fuck Def Leppard. Because they still fucked Wes.
Right.
What the hell?
Gotta wonder what's going on with Norge tonight.
How many more times could I have gone in circles with that same thing?
That's too funny. I saw somebody in the chat room last week said something about, I think Norge popped in. He says, Neeley not here tonight? Goes, no, nigger stories tonight. It's like, what? Am I the purveyor of nigger stories?
Apparently you are.
Apparently I am. I guess that's my reputation.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah, well, you do stay somewhat close to Gary, Indiana, don't you?
Well, it's not really inspired by Gary, Indiana.
Oh, it sort of is.
You think so?
You drive by there and you're like, oh, let me look this up.
I don't know so much about that. But anyway, getting back to the last week's events.
Yeah.
So what was I saying? Oh yeah, the guys didn't have rooms. So they had to clean up some rooms to get them checked in. So during the time that they're waiting, of course, the autograph hounds are out.
Right.
And I had come back from the venue, and Jack Russell's bassist, Tony Montagna, was getting out of the little shuttle bus that, shuttled them back and forth. Sure. And there's some guy, obviously one of these guys with, his complete collection of whatever he brought there to the hotel. He's out there basically stalking the entrance to the hotel, and he's on his cell phone yapping at somebody. And he goes, hold on, dude. I got to jump off here. Somebody's getting off the shuttle. I don't know who it is, but I got to go find out.
Oh, God.
One of those guys.
Hey, look, it's that guy.
Yeah. Hurry up. I know I brought some of his stuff. Get that signed, too.
Who are you so I can shuffle through?
Yeah. But, the hotel, the hotel was, obviously they're it's a big event for them, for M3, because when I had gotten there Friday evening, the hotel basically bought pizza for everybody that was in the lobby area.
Okay.
So they had free pizzas for everybody. It was just a big party atmosphere.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it was very cool. So overall, again, if you want to go to that event or you're thinking about it, I'd recommend going. I think you'd have a good time. Maybe
instead of wasting their money on pizza, they could have hired another 2 maids to clean up the rooms.
Probably. But anyway, and then of course we'll get in. We're running kind of long here on this segment, but we'll talk about the events of Mark and John.
All right.
And we'll talk about Eddie Trunk.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about, the performance by, the headliner Rat.
All right.
And all that good stuff.
How is Blotz? Oh, that's not the Rat we're talking.
No, the current drummer for Rat, Jimmy DeGrasso, as I told you on the phone last week, he listens to the show.
That's nice. Hello, Jimmy.
Yeah. So, very cool stuff, but we'll talk all about that when we come back.
All right.
Because I want to grab a drink.
Yeah, me too.
And get things rolling.
Okay.
Then I want to talk about your epiphany that you epiphanized today.
What was that?
Your personal epiphanies.
Oh, okay, yeah, we could do that.
Your personal epiphanies.
Dude, I'm in a good place. I'm in a good place. I'm making some changes. I'll talk about it.
And I want to talk about our good friends, Red Rain.
I want to talk about Red Rain as well, because I am, and can we play some Tesla out?
Yeah, we can, sure.
Fuck that. We play Red Rain and then Tesla out.
We can?
We play, but I want to play the old school version of Chains.
Okay.
Because I like that one better. Sorry, guys.
All right. We will play.
Let's talk about that just for a second. Just for a second,
hang
dude.
on,
How proud are you
just,
of our boys?
Hang on just a minute. Hail and Kill caller, you're on the air.
All right, hail, kill, guys. This is Norge. One more time, and it's the last time. You guys basically made up with Mark and John, right?
We'll get to that.
I know. Hold on. Just a simple yes or no. That's it.
Yes,
I don't want you to get into detail or nothing like that.
All right, that is correct, Norge. Yes.
You know what? That's cool.
Next thing, Norge and Rufo. That's the next makeup I want to see.
Yeah, go fuck yourself. That ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, that's what we said.
Honestly, you know what, dude? I think it's honestly. I'll be honest with you. Everybody knows I'm a dick, but they know I love ripping on John and Mark. But it's good that you guys already fucking ended this shit, because if you guys would have kept on with this shit, it would have been stupid already.
All right.
So saith Norge.
Even though I think they're both still fucktards, but whatever. But
are you drinking tonight?
Absolutely.
You're a little slow on the uptake tonight, so I was wondering.
Yes, I've had a long fucking day. I unfortunately I had to fucking work.
All right, Norge, let us do some show. Let us do some show.
Okay, all right. I'll hang up. All right, hail and kill, fuck you, pal, and blow me.
All right. What was your comment going to be about Red Rain?
When I heard this news, I was very proud of our boys. That's really a fucking good score for them, guys.
I agree.
It's really a good deal for them. It's going to be big crowds for them to play in front of, and I'm just happy for and you personally should take some love off of that.
And I have, believe me. Sammy called me immediately when he was allowed to speak about it.
That's awesome. And I'm just really happy for Sammy and the whole band, man, because, we as a show, but you specifically really engineered a lot of this shit.
I did.
And that is very, very cool to see, something that came from an idea where you just made a phone call or an email or whatever you did to get Chipster involved, to now you've got this great demo, and now they're going out on tour with Tesla.
Absolutely.
It's fucking awesome, dude.
I agree.
That's all I want to say.
Okay.
I'm proud of those guys.
Very cool.
Why don't we play some?
All right.